What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the install video for the ACGG, a Car Guy's Garage 2015 Plus rear diffuser for the Subaru STI and the WRX. So when you open up your package, first of all, thank you so much for buying it. I really appreciate it. Your support is super important to me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now you're going to be asking yourself, Xana, what am I going to do with all these pieces? There's a lot of stuff going on. Let me answer that for you. So first and foremost, you're going to get this big, huge diffuser plate. Okay, in the middle, the holes are offset. This is so that when you install the fin, it is straight. Because it is offset, one of the fins in the package, that's why you get 3 and 2. The third extra one is to go on the one side, and when you put it on, it is straight and centered, and you don't notice it being offset. So you have to make sure that you always put the right one in the middle. So you will always have 3 and 2. So the 3 go on the one side with where the bolts are off, where the holes are offset. They're offset to one side, so that other fin goes on there, and then the other 2 just line up. You will also have a bag of bolts, okay, and in it, I already have some here because this is the second time that I'm filming this actually. You will have 10 or 15 of these small ones, and then you will have 2 of these big ones. These big ones are for mounting, and we don't need it right now, and these 10 or 15 of the small ones are for mounting the fins to the diffuser. Now, I say 10 or 15 because I am making an adjustment, so depending on when you're watching this video, you either have 15 holes in the diffuser or you have 10. If you have 10, you will only be getting 10, but I don't want to say 15 in the video and then all of a sudden you only have 10, you're wondering why, and then I'm getting an email. So one of the holes in each fin is going to be removed because I found that you don't really need it. It's a little bit overkill and it's not necessary. So on these, and like the big ones too, there's a nut, 2 metal washers, and 2 plastic washers. The bolts, the nuts, the washers, except for the plastic ones obviously, are stainless steel. Stainless steel is obviously a better material to be using. It's very good corrosion resistance, right? So that's rust. When you have like the other stuff, the plated steel bolts, they tend to rust. That's one of the big things that when I was talking to people and getting people's insight is that the zinc stuff rusts over time, whether it's a year, 2 years, or 3 years. So I decided, cut the BS, let's just go source out stainless steel bolts, and hopefully that will work out the best for everyone. Now, for me, when I install everything, I like to take everything apart and then go from there. Now, I obviously put this all together for you guys because I like to have a nice, clean package. But again, it seems counterintuitive that I put all this together. So when we talk about rust and corrosion, there's a reason why I went with aluminum and stainless steel. I could have went with stainless, but I don't think any of you guys would pay for stainless steel diffusers. They'd be pretty expensive. So we went with aluminum. That's what I used. A higher corrosion resistance. It's 5052 aluminum, so it's actually a pretty higher quality one. There are better aluminums out there, but again, you get into more expensive, and you also get into different properties of it being harder or whatnot for bending and stuff like that. So 5052. It's pretty good. I don't suggest running this in the winter if you have snow, especially up here in Canada. We like to put salt on the ground. I do not suggest that you run it. You should just take it off. And it is only 2 bolts to install this, so it would take you, honest to God, it should take you 25 seconds to get off the car once you install the diffuser. The spats a little bit different, and we'll go over that later on. So you're going to get your fins. And I use just the plastic washers. I don't use the metal ones. I do send them. I send them because some of you guys take really good care of your car. you'll take the diffuser off in the winter, or you'll take it off when you're washing the car, or you'll properly, you'll clean inside all the areas, especially like when it's sitting on the car, gunk gets in there. So some people take care of their cars really, really, really well. Other people, they don't go as in depth into cleaning the cars. And then some other people, we just neglect our cars sometimes. So that's why I turn around and send the plastic washers along with the metal ones. You don't need to use the metal ones. If you want to use them, go right ahead, but you don't need to. You'll take them and bolt, plastic washer, and then you'll put it through the holes. Now, you could do this however you want. You could set this all up and then just attach it to the diffuser. And I'm sorry, I am one person. I'm doing this by myself. So it is a little bit harder to do this for the screen, but as I changed my mind twice. So the one area here, so this end piece is going to go through there, and then you're going to take another plastic washer and the nut. You're going to tighten that, and then again on here, you're going to do that. Another plastic washer, and then the other nut. Let's turn around and do it like this. Okay? So just like that. So plastic bolt, plastic washer, nut. Now I'm going to speed the camera up. I'm going to install the other fins. For these bolts, you just need to tighten them with an open end wrench or a socket. You don't need to do them super, super tight, but obviously you don't want them to come undone. You could also add blue Loctite if you like as well, so that they would probably never come off. So just sit tight. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to put all the fins on. I'll have the camera running so that you can see me doing it, and then we will talk about the install. All right, guys? Thanks. So there we go, okay? So we have our 3 fins on the one side and our 2 fins on the other. And as you can see, the off-centeredness of the holes does not turn around and show up. The fin is, it's lined up to the middle of the diffuser, okay? So again, bolt, plastic washer, put it through, plastic washer, nut, some blue Loctite if you like, and just torque them down to be pretty good with an open end wrench or a socket. All right, you don't need to super over tighten it, okay? But that's it. As I said earlier, those 5 middle bolts are going to be gone. Those 5 holes on the fin and the new diffusers coming out next batch. So you don't need to put those on there. And if I sent you 15 again, you don't need to use it. Save them just in case you lose one or you break one or whatever, okay? So there you go. That's super easy. That's how you install the fins on the diffuser. Now I'll put the bumper up, and this is going to be a little bit hard because I only have so much room, but then I will show you how to install the diffuser onto the bumper. All right, guys? All right, so you can see the bolt, plastic washer, plastic washer, and the nut. Okay, so that's how you want to turn around and install it. All right, everyone, so you're going to take from the bag, there's 2 setups here. They have 2 nuts, 2 plastic washers, and 2 metal washers. You're going to take the nuts off, you're going to take the washers out, and then you're going to put that aside. And you're going to do that for both. So the reason for the plastic washers and the metal washers is 2 things. One, if you're going to run this in the winter, and I do not suggest that you do it, that's up to you. It creates a separation from the metal to the to the plastic. So when you put two pieces of metal together, that, mind you, everything is powder coated, so it makes it even harder for things to corrode. But when you have two metals together, it makes it a little bit easier for those metals to react. You add in salt or road brine, and then that just makes it even worse, okay? So that's why I send the plastic washers as well. And it goes with the spats, and it goes with the fins and everything, like I said earlier, when I showed you to install the fins. I do not suggest that you use it during the winter. That is up to you, but I still give you that option, and I send everything to you. So the first thing you're gonna take is the one long bolt and a washer, and you're gonna put that in. So you're gonna do that for both. And then, as you can see here, these two inner mounting points, these are the ones that you're going to use. Behind it, or underneath it, however you want to look at it, there is a metal piece as well that attaches to the frame of the car. That's where it's going to get its rigidity. So these other bolts, these other holes here, they're just holding, I'm not 100% sure what they're holding up. It might be a flap or something, a cover. But this and this one is what I suggest using. And these are the only two mounting points I use. I know other companies, they use other areas around there, but the way that I do it, it gives it a really firm fitment, and it doesn't really, it doesn't go anywhere. I haven't had a complaint yet. So you take your bolt, your washer, put it through there, take the other metal washer, put it on there, and then take your nut. You're going to put this all the way up, and then you're really going to tighten it. You're really going to tighten it. Get out your open end wrench or a socket, a deep one, and then tighten that up. And then you're going to do it for the same over here. So what this is going to do is that one, by tightening it, you're creating that mounting point. And two, now when you put the other nut on and washer with the diffuser, because this is super tight, this bolt won't spin. So this is very important. It gives you a little bit of space as well, to give you space from all these little things on the diffuser, on the rear bumper diffuser. So when you add my diffuser, it doesn't really sit up against it like it would if you didn't have this spacer. So you got to make sure that you have that spacer. And like I said, tighten that down really well. So as you can see, washer, nut, and on the inside is the washer as well. And on both sides. That's how you're going to want to turn around and do it. You have to follow that, because that's going to create your mounting point. So now the easiest part of the install is putting the diffuser on. Once again, make sure that those are super tight. You're going to take your plastic washer. Now this is very hard to do one-handed. And you're going to line up the holes with each other. Alright? Then you're going to put the plastic washer on. And then you can see here that the fin is there. So you're going to want to make sure that you put the plastic washer to fit inside of that. Once you get that on, you're going to take your nut and you're going to tighten that. And because you tightened everything earlier, you'll just be able to snug this right up. So you're going to do it again to here. Doing it one-handed is obviously very hard, but that's all. I only have myself. And again, you're going to tighten this all the way to fit snug with the plastic washer. And you're going to go all the way. Now before you do super tighten it, you might want to make sure that it is level as best as it can be. It should line up perfectly. Now on this, obviously it's not secured to the car, so that's why it's moving around. But you make sure that you really snug these super tight, blue Loctite again. And then there you go. The diffuser is installed. And to take it off, all you have to turn around and do is take that nut off and that nut off, remove the washer, and then it slides down. Super easy. So just make sure, again, plastic washer, and the nut. You don't want to not use a washer because then you're going to go right into the powder. Please use the washers. All right. So as you can see there, plastic washer and the nut. And that's how you're going to want to install it. Super easy. And then those two things, you just undo them. And then you can run it without the diffuser. And it'll be good for the winter. And then you could easily put it back on with those two bolts. Just leave them there. They won't be in the way. And then there you go. Alright, so now in the next bag for the spats, you're going to get another 4 bolts. Now on them, they do have 2 metal washers and 1 plastic washer. If you got 2 plastic washers, consider yourself lucky. Probably an accident, but yeah. For this, the reason why you only get 1 plastic washer as opposed to 2 is because when you install the spat, wherever you're going to, however the bolt is going to go, whether it's going to go from the top to this or from underneath, you're going to want to have the plastic washer to go there. Now, the easiest way to install this would be to put the bolts from the inside facing down. There is a splash guard in there. It is a pain in the ass, and this is why I really don't want to do it on a car, because it's really hard to maneuver around, and I wouldn't be able to show you as well with the splash guard there. But this is also going to make it look super, super easy. So you can go from here, from inside and down, just like this, right? Now, or you could go from the inside like this. All right. Obviously, this is a cleaner look, but it is a lot harder to do. So when you're installing it, you're going to take, if you're installing it from under here, you're going to take your metal washer, right? Because you're going to want a nice firm attachment to here. So you're just going to go like that, and there are multiple holes. So they all fit these holes here. So you can use whichever holes that you want. That's totally up to you. And then you're just going to put your spat on. Then you're going to take your plastic washer, if you're going like this, and then your nut. And you're going to tighten that up to be however tight that you want it. All right. So if you wanted to go the other way, and I'm going to show this way, if you wanted to go like this, you're going to take the plastic washer and the bolt, you're going to stick it like this, and then on the underside, you're going to put the metal washer, and then you're going to take the nut, and then you're going to tighten it that way. And before you tighten it, you'll want to align this to be how you want it to be. There is a lot of play in these holes. There's about, I want to say about 1/4 of an inch all the way around to align it however best that you want. And then again, like everything else, I hand tighten everything, and then I bust out the open end wrench or the socket. If you go from this side up, you just get an Allen key, you can tighten it, or you go from the other side. You might have to take off that splash guard, or if you have small hands, which I kind of do, but I don't, you could install it like this, or you can install it that way. Obviously, that is ugly, that is clean. It all depends on how you want to go ahead and do it. Either way functions the same way, but with the metal, again, use that plastic washer either there or there, whichever way you're turning around and doing it. Make sure you use the plastic washer. And on the underside where it's going to the bumper, and you're either having the bolt head or the nut, use the metal one. The metal one is going to make it really, really rigid and give it a lot more area to grab onto. And then once you tighten these up, they're super, super tight. Again, blue Loctite, you can use it. It's probably best that you do. And in the winter, yeah, you got to take them off. But do you want it to last, or do you not want it to last? That's totally up to you. All right, everyone. So there you have it. There's the install of my 2015 rear diffuser for the WRX and the STI. With everything, you could email me, contact me, whatever, if you have any questions. But please watch the video. Please try to understand it a little bit, and don't be afraid to try putting it on your car. If you do have any questions, you can reach out. I made the video to make it easier for people so that I don't get a lot of emails in asking how to do this or that, how to use this or how to use that, why this, why that. I can't always get back to those emails immediately, or the DMs or the PMs. I am seeing roughly 75 to 100 different points of contact a day, whether it is email, whether it is private message, or whether it's embedded questions within postings as well. I do reply to everyone. If people say cool, thanks, or great, cool looking knob on a posting and stuff, I do always reply to those. But again, if you ask a question, I might not see it till the next day or 2 or 3 days later when I have time to go through everything. So watch the video, try to understand it. If you have any questions, always reach out. But like I said, all the information is in the video. That way it is there for you guys, and it could get you set up and running the diffuser in no time. I made it super, super simple so that anybody could install it. It doesn't take any fancy tools, doesn't take a lift. You could do it just by jacking the car up. It is amazingly easy. And I had never done a diffuser before in my life until this one, and I made it as easy as I could, because like for someone like myself, ease is the most important thing when it comes to it, because explaining over the phone or explaining through email or through pictures and stuff, it can be really, really, really hard without video like that. And the harder that you make it, the harder that it is to install, and I didn't want that for you guys. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Share it. Enjoy your diffuser. As always, I appreciate the support. We'll see you on the next one. Later.